What in your experience and upbringing do you think uniquely qualifies you to be on the Board of Selectmen?
I've lived here for a long time. I've seen a lot of changes, some for the good, some for the bad. I have bought a house here in Cohasset of my own, and since then I have started to get very, very involved in the local government. I find it very important to give back to the community what the community has given to you. This is an absolutely wonderful place to live. It's a wonderful place to bring up children. The school systems are now that all the new schools are built, it's a wonderful place, and it needs to stay that way. And it needs the Cohasset deserves the best they can for the tax money that they're paying. We have to be concerned about the seniors who are getting priced out of town, but we also need to be aware that the children that are growing up need a good school system, and there's a very delicate balance in there. And I have been on the board of the advisory board for 3 years. I've learned how to build budgets from the bottom up, a Cohasset budget. And whether it's the same as other towns or not, I don't know. I'm not a part of another town's budget. All I know is how the Cohasset government is moving along in the directions it's gone, and not only that, where it's come from. And I'd like to see certain things changed back to the way they were. I have some very big environmental issues that are going on. The harbor is really falling apart. That needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed aggressively. And things like the train coming, that's an enormous change from what people are used to seeing. This quaint little town where it's okay to walk up and down the railroad tracks because nothing's there. Well, that's going to change really soon. It's going to change in a year, maybe a year and a half. And again, the Economic Development Group, working very hard on 3A, that needs to be addressed. We need to build up the tax rate and take it off the burden of the residents and move it onto the commercial properties. So commercial development, it needs to be done, but it needs to be done very, very delicately. We do not want to look like Weymouth. And these people are working very hard to make sure that doesn't happen.
Ted, talk about how your experience, your life experience, your jobs, et cetera, make you uniquely qualified to be on the Board of Selectmen.
Sure, thanks. Like Roger, I'm a committed resident to Cohasset. While I'm relatively new here, 3 years, we're staying. This is where we're going to raise our children and where we are going to be from, and hopefully that my children will be from. What I think I bring to the job is fresh ideas and a tremendous amount of experience. Most of my professional career has been in public service, 15 years. I spent 8 of those 15 years as a political appointee for President Clinton in the federal government. I served at the White House, I served at the Department of Commerce, and I served at the Department of Housing and Urban Development. As a political aide to the President, I saw a lot of diverse issues. We worked on a lot of very interesting and tricky negotiations in terms of the peace process in Northern Ireland and peace in the Middle East, a wonderful international portfolio. At Commerce, I worked on trade promotion. I managed large staffs. I've managed large budgets. I have been part of the federal procurement process. I've been part of the federal budgeting process. At the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and I think this is most related to my experience here, is I worked on elderly housing issues and economic development issues in over 200 communities, not dissimilar to Cohasset, around the country. These experiences are value added, and I think would be well served to the Board of Selectmen. In any position, I think I could be helpful to anybody in town. It is a unique set of skills that doesn't currently exist on the Board of Selectmen. I think with that nice balance, as the town moves forward with those skills, I can be helpful.
Thanks, Ted. Roger, last word. Anything else?
No, I'm all set. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, great. We'll go to Pat.